and they've been doing pretty good investigative work themselves, people like James Rosen and Adam Housley, and they said that these identities were unmasked because of these national security concerns, but Fox is now reporting today that it looks a lot more like that Rice and the rest of the team of Obama and associates were on what I have always suspected, which is a fishing expedition to find embarrassing personal details that could be used in political attacks. Now, Fox is reporting that the intelligence reports at the center of Susan Rice's unmasking controversy, that they were, quote, detailed, almost resembling a private investigator's file, according to a Republican congressman familiar with the documents. Now, let me just backtrack here. Remember the reporting of Sarah Carter. Remember what she spent a lot of time going into detail on, and that is what changed in 2011. In other words, due to the rules that Obama got approved by the FISA review court as it relates to these issues of surveillance and unmasking, that, in other words, they fought hard in the intelligence community under Obama to get these rules relaxed. They were claiming the changes would improve intelligence sharing aimed at solving threats and lone wolf terrorism and hackers and foreign espionage. That's what they claimed. And as a result of these rule changes by the FISA review court in 2011 and adapted again in 2015, just before he left office in January, remember the 2 weeks prior to him leaving office, the amendment to Executive Order 12333, and now you can share that information with 16 new agencies, which of course he never wanted to live under those rules himself. But now it's all beginning to create a pretty big image. And then you put together what Congressman Peter King, who's on the House Intel Committee, and a smart guy and not somebody that's shy, he actually said the following, quote, this is information about everyday lives. So what have I been saying now for the last number of days? That they were using the guise of national security to spy, surveil Trump and his transition team and his campaign team. So this is everything that I was discussing now for weeks is now being confirmed by Congressman Peter King. That, in fact, the intelligence community has been apoliticized and weaponized. Peter King goes on to say this information is about people's everyday lives. So in other words, it's not about Russia. It's not about China. It's not about Iran. This is about a police state, is what he's describing here. He goes on to say, it's sort of like in a divorce case where lawyers are hired and investigators are hired just to find out what the other person is doing morning until night, and then you try and piece it together later on. Okay, that doesn't have anything to do with national security. And under the guise of national security, what they're saying was false. Anyway, then he goes on before and Devin Nunes, by the way, only recused himself. This is being made into a bigger deal than it really is, and I think he did it for good purposes. I'm getting an update here. Yeah, there is a chance on this health care bill. There is a chance. And if they do come to an agreement, they will come back next week to do it. That I can confirm. That would definitely happen. Anyway, but back to, so Devin Nunes just recused himself only from the Russia party, remains the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. He has been unfairly maligned. Now, if he has to go, then I make the case that Adam Schiff, who already has prejudiced himself and sided with Susan Rice, is incapable of being objective. Now I'm saying that Adam Schiff, the Democratic leader on the Intel Committee, he needs to recuse himself too. Anyway, before he stepped down from that one issue today and recused himself on that one issue, Devin Nunes had consistently stated that the files caused him deep concern because the unmasking went beyond the former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, and the information was not related to Moscow. You understand where we're going here? We're now heading into the police state territory. We're now heading into weaponizing intelligence to use against political opponents. We are now stepping into an arena where, let's use all these great intelligence tools we have. Let's spy on people that we don't like, and then we can blackmail them, we can intimidate them, we can silence them, and we can do whatever the hell we want to shut them down. You got it? You see how really, now you get the picture. And if Peter King is saying this is about their everyday lives and having nothing to do with national security, which Susan Rice is claiming, and they're looking into, it's the same as hiring a lawyer or investigator, finding out where people are, when and where all day. This has nothing to do with national security and everything to do with smear, slander, intimidation, possible blackmail opportunities, and everything else associated with these types of rogue actions. This is really, really so far beyond anything Watergate related. It's beyond anything you could even ever imagine. But I continue. Now, remember, Susan Rice, in the seemingly scripted interview with Andrea Mitchell, says the reports were requested by the Obama administration, which announced the probe into the Russia election hacking issue in December. But this was happening before then. This was happening in October, before the election. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence, Homeland Security Department, put out a joint statement about Moscow interference. And Rice told Andrea Mitchell, fulfilling the president's request, his request came in December. So none of that makes any sense either. And then it goes well beyond this. Now, our friend DeRoy Murdoch detailed the real Russiagate scandal, and he's picked up on what we've talked about, which is the Uranium One deal. And, I think he did a really good job. And, it turns out there's a ton of evidence supporting claims that the one candidate in last year's presidential election that was completely compromised by connections to the Kremlin was Hillary. And nobody ever wants to talk about it. And DeRoy Murdoch made that case very strong during a visit to Moscow in March of 2010. Then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton explained the purpose of America's reset with the Kremlin. Our goal is to help strengthen Russia. She actually made that quote. If Donald Trump had ever said that, imagine where the Democrats would be. And beyond her personally signing off on the Uranium One deal and all the players associated and surrounding it donating millions and millions of dollars to the Clinton Foundation and control of 20% of America's uranium stockpile going to Putin via Hillary and Bill Clinton getting double his speaking fees, I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. Hillary helping Boeing seal a major sale to the Kremlin, that was part of it. All this money funneled back. Now, whatever happened to these investigations? Where is James Comey? Anyway, Nunes' replacement may add Hillary to the Russiagate probe. Mike Conway and Congressman Trey Gowdy have taken over. I would not want to mess with Trey Gowdy on any legal matter. Let me put it that way. Anyway, Conway, the new leader of the House Intelligence Committee's probe on the Russia meddling, once compared Moscow's hacking to Mexican singers campaigning for Hillary Clinton. That was pretty funny. But he may add Hillary to the Russiagate probe. Because he goes on to say, he told the Dallas Morning News that they're foreign actors, foreign people influencing the vote in Nevada. You don't hear the Democrats screaming and saying one word about it. Sure, it's foreign influence. He was asked about looking into the Hillary stuff. Anyway, 800-941-SEAN is our toll-free telephone number. You want to be a